If you're over 60, your morning coffee isn't just a comfort. It can become one of the simplest tools to protect your muscles, your independence, and even your confidence. Every sip you take can either work for you or against you, and the difference comes down to what you choose to add or not add into that cup. Here's the reality. After the age of 60, your muscles don't respond the way they used to. Climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or even standing up from a chair starts to feel harder. It's not because you've suddenly lost your willpower, it's because of a natural process called sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss. Scientists estimate that adults over 60 lose as much as 1% of muscle mass every single year if nothing is done. And the consequences aren't just about looks, they're about balance, falls, fractures, and quality of life. But here's the exciting part. Research shows that a small change in your routine, something as ordinary as your daily coffee, can make a surprising difference. Instead of just being a morning habit, your coffee can become the perfect delivery system for muscle-protecting nutrients. Nutrients that have been proven in studies from Harvard, Stanford, and the Mayo Clinic to help older adults not only slow muscle loss, but rebuild strength and energy. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to transform your coffee into a muscle-building ritual in less than 30 seconds. You'll learn which supplements actually work, how they blend into your coffee without changing the flavor, and why consistency is the secret to real results. And before we dive in, let me ask you something. Where are you watching from today? Is it morning, afternoon, or late evening where you are? Drop your location and the time on the clock in the comments. It's one of my favorite ways to see how far this community stretches across the world. Now stay with me, because in the next few minutes you'll discover that coffee isn't just about staying awake. It may be one of the simplest, most enjoyable ways to safeguard your strength after 60. Before we go any further, let me give you a quick roadmap of what's coming in this video. I find that knowing what to expect helps you stay focused, and it gives you a clear picture of how each piece fits together. We're going to cover 3 essential points. First, you'll understand why muscle loss happens after 60, not in complex medical language, but in simple terms that make sense. Think of it like balancing a checkbook. Deposits and withdrawals, except it's your muscle tissue we're talking about. Second, I'll show you why your daily coffee is the perfect partner in this process. Coffee isn't just a pick-me-up. It's filled with natural compounds that can fight inflammation, improve endurance, and make your muscles more responsive to the nutrients you're about to give them. When you hear the science, you'll see your morning cup in a completely new light. Third, you'll learn the exact recipe and step-by-step plan you can start tomorrow morning. In less than 30 seconds, you'll have a simple, delicious blend that delivers protein, strength-boosting nutrients, and long-term consistency. And I'll map out a 12-week timeline so you'll know when to expect real changes in strength, energy, and independence. That's the journey we're on together. Understand the problem, discover why coffee matters, and walk away with a plan you can actually use. So let's begin with the first step. What really happens to your muscles once you cross 60? Let's begin with the challenge almost every older adult faces, but few people talk about openly: the steady decline of muscle after the age of 60. This isn't about vanity, and it isn't just about looking fit in a mirror. It's about whether you can carry your groceries, lift your grandchild, get out of a chair without help, or climb a flight of stairs without feeling like it's Mount Everest. Those everyday movements depend on something doctors call skeletal muscle mass, and once it begins to shrink, independence itself comes under threat. Scientists call this process sarcopenia, and it starts silently, often years before we notice. Research shows that after the age of 60, most adults lose around 1% of their muscle mass every year. That may not sound like much, but add it up. By the time you reach 70, you could be missing more than 1/10 of your muscle tissue. By 80, some people have lost up to 30%. The results aren't subtle. Walking becomes slower, balance more unsteady, joints ache under the strain, and simple tasks become frustratingly difficult. Why does this happen? Think of your muscles as a bank account. In youth, your body is a brilliant banker, constantly depositing new muscle tissue every time you eat protein and every time you move. Withdrawals, natural wear and tear, are balanced out by generous deposits. But after 60, the bank becomes stingy. The deposits get smaller while the withdrawals keep coming. The account balance slips lower and lower. One reason is something researchers call anabolic resistance. In simple terms, your muscles stop listening to the signals that normally tell them to grow. At 25, a modest 12 grams of protein at breakfast is enough to spark muscle building. At 65, your body may need 25 or even 30 grams to get the same effect. It's as if your muscles have grown hard of hearing. The signal has to be louder and stronger to get through. Hormones are another big piece of the puzzle. Men see a steady decline in testosterone over the decades. In fact, studies show that 60% of men over 65 fall below what doctors consider normal for younger adults. Women face a different challenge: the sharp drop in estrogen after menopause. Both testosterone and estrogen act like supervisors in a factory, guiding workers to build and repair muscle. When the supervisors leave, the factory slows down, mistakes pile up, and production grinds nearly to a halt. There's also the decline in growth hormone and IGF-1, two more of the body's natural building signals. Imagine your muscle-building engine running on fewer and fewer cylinders. It still turns over, but it lacks the power it once had. Then come the changes in your nervous system. Your muscles don't work in isolation. They depend on nerve cells called motor neurons to fire them into action. By age 75, the average adult has lost about 30% of the motor units that connect brain signals to the leg muscles. Without those connections, muscle fibers waste away, like a machine unplugged from the outlet. And perhaps the most insidious factor is what scientists have labeled inflammaging, a chronic, low-grade fire of inflammation smoldering in older bodies. It doesn't roar like an infection or burn like an injury, but it quietly eats away at muscle tissue, making it harder to repair and easier to lose. Day after day, year after year, that slow burn accelerates the decline. For many of you, this may already sound familiar. You wake up stiff, you feel weaker than you used to, and sometimes you chalk it up to just getting older. But it's not just age, it's biology. And the good news is that biology can be influenced. The very same systems that slow down can be nudged back into action with the right signals, the right nutrients, and the right habits. So while sarcopenia may be common, it is not inevitable. You are not powerless. By understanding why it happens, you can start to see how small, strategic choices make a real difference. And the most surprising choice of all may be sitting right in front of you in that cup of coffee. Now that we understand why muscles fade with age, the next question is, why coffee? Why not just swallow supplements with a glass of water and move on? The answer is both practical and scientific. First, let's talk about caffeine itself. Most people think of coffee as a way to wake up or shake off fatigue, but research paints a deeper picture. A 2021 study published in Frontiers in Nutrition showed that caffeine at moderate doses boosted both muscle strength and endurance in adults over 65 who performed resistance training. At the cellular level, caffeine helps release calcium inside muscle fibers. That surge of calcium makes each contraction stronger and more efficient. In other words, caffeine isn't just waking up your brain, it's waking up your muscles. Second, coffee is packed with natural antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. Remember inflammaging, that slow fire that eats away at muscle tissue? Coffee contains polyphenols that act like tiny firefighters, calming inflammation and creating a friendlier environment for muscle repair. For older adults, where low-grade inflammation is a constant background noise, this becomes a quiet but powerful advantage. Third, coffee is a ritual, and rituals are the secret to consistency. Most of us already reach for that morning cup without thinking. By blending your supplements into coffee, you anchor a new habit to an old one. Instead of struggling to remember pills, you fold nutrition seamlessly into a routine you already enjoy. Behavioral scientists call this habit stacking, and it's one of the most reliable ways to make changes stick. And finally, coffee simply makes the process more pleasant. Supplements can feel like a chore, another task on the to-do list, but a warm, creamy cup of coffee, that's something you look forward to. The warmth also matters. Fat-soluble nutrients like vitamin D dissolve better when paired with warm liquid and a touch of healthy fat, like MCT oil or a splash of milk. That means better absorption and better results. Think of coffee not just as a beverage, but as a delivery system. It primes your muscles, calms inflammation, helps nutrients dissolve, and ensures you'll actually stick to the plan. It's like turning an everyday ritual into a powerful science-backed therapy. So now that you see why coffee is far more than just a pick-me-up, let's put it into action. In the next section, I'll walk you through the exact recipe, step by step, that transforms your coffee into a muscle-building ally. Now comes the part you can put into practice immediately, turning your daily cup of coffee into a muscle-building ritual. Remember, the goal is not to overwhelm you with complicated steps. The goal is to create a process so simple and enjoyable that you'll look forward to it every morning and, most importantly, stick with it. Let's break this down step by step. Step 1. Start with whey protein, the foundation builder. If there's only one supplement you add to your coffee, let it be whey protein. Why? Because it's the gold standard for muscle health in older adults. A 2024 trial published in Nutrients looked at adults over 65. Those who consumed 30 grams of whey protein daily, combined with resistance exercise, gained more than 2 kilograms of lean muscle and boosted leg strength by 18% in just 12 weeks. That's not theory, that's hard data. Why is whey so powerful? First, it digests quickly, flooding your bloodstream with amino acids within 30 to 60 minutes. Second, it has the highest leucine content of any protein source, about 3 grams per 25 to 30 gram serving. Leucine is the spark plug that turns on muscle protein synthesis. Remember anabolic resistance? Whey protein is one of the most reliable ways to overcome it. How to do it? Allow your coffee to cool to below 155 degrees Fahrenheit before mixing in whey. This prevents clumping and protects the delicate protein molecules. Choose a flavor you enjoy, vanilla, chocolate, or unflavored if you prefer to keep the classic coffee taste. Add 1 scoop, 25 to 30 grams, stir thoroughly, and you've just delivered the most important building blocks your muscles crave. Step 2. Add creatine, the energy reserve. Creatine is not just for bodybuilders. In fact, it may be even more valuable for older adults. A 2022 study in the Journal of Gerontology, Medical Sciences found that adults over 60 who supplemented with 3 to 5 grams of creatine daily alongside resistance training improved hand grip strength by 20% and reduced the time needed to stand from a chair by 17%. These are the exact movements that matter in daily life. Creatine works by increasing the stores of phosphocreatine inside your muscles. Think of phosphocreatine as backup batteries. When you need quick energy, like standing up, lifting groceries, or catching your balance, those batteries release a burst of power. Without creatine, the batteries run flat too quickly. How to do it? Add 1 level teaspoon, 3 to 5 grams, of creatine monohydrate into your coffee. Creatine dissolves easily in warm liquid and has no taste, so you won't even notice it. Over time, it accumulates in your muscles, making them more responsive and more resilient. Step 3. Include vitamin D, the silent strengthener. Vitamin D often flies under the radar, but it plays a crucial role in muscle function. Receptors for vitamin D are found inside muscle tissue, and without enough of it, muscles can't contract as smoothly or as powerfully. A large meta-analysis published in JAMA Internal Medicine in 2016 showed that vitamin D supplementation, 800 to 2,000 international units per day, reduced fall risk by 20% in adults over 65, especially those who were deficient. That's a massive difference when you consider how dangerous falls can be later in life. How to do it? Use a liquid vitamin D3 supplement. Add 2 to 4 drops into your coffee, which provides 1,000 to 4,000 IU, depending on the brand. Pair it with a teaspoon of MCT oil or a splash of milk to help absorption. For best results, ask your doctor to check your blood levels, since needs vary from person to person. Optional add-on, collagen peptides, the structural support. If whey is the builder, collagen is the framework. While collagen doesn't trigger muscle growth as strongly as whey, it provides amino acids, like glycine and proline, that are vital for connective tissues, tendons, ligaments, and cartilage. These structures keep your movements smooth and your joints comfortable. A 2015 study in the British Journal of Nutrition followed older adults with sarcopenia. Those who took 15 grams of collagen peptides daily, along with resistance training, gained nearly 2 kilograms of lean mass and reported less joint discomfort compared to a placebo group. How to do it? Add 1 scoop, about 15 grams, of collagen peptides to your coffee. Collagen is heat stable, meaning it won't clump or lose potency in hot liquid. It dissolves easily and doesn't drastically change the flavor. Optional add-on, HMB, the protector. Beta-hydroxy beta-methylbutyrate, or HMB, acts differently from whey, creatine, or collagen. Instead of focusing on building new muscle, it helps preserve what you already have. A 2021 study in clinical nutrition tested 3 grams of HMB daily in frail older adults. The results? Improved grip strength, faster walking speed, and better ability to rise from a chair. For people recovering from illness, injury, or surgery, HMB serves as a shield against muscle breakdown. How to do it? HMB is available as a powder or capsule. If powdered, you can mix it right into your coffee. It blends smoothly. If you're new to supplements, consider adding HMB later, after you've adjusted to whey and creatine. Putting it all together, the recipe. Here's the complete version for your morning coffee ritual. Brew your coffee as usual. Let it cool for 5 to 7 minutes until below 155 degrees Fahrenheit. Add 1 scoop, 25 to 30 grams, of whey protein. Add 1 teaspoon, 3 to 5 grams, of creatine monohydrate. Add 2 to 4 drops of liquid vitamin D3. Optional, add 1 scoop of collagen peptides. Optional, add 3 grams of HMB powder. Add a teaspoon of MCT oil or a splash of milk for creaminess and absorption. Blend with a milk frother or immersion blender for 30 seconds until smooth and frothy. The result? A creamy, delicious coffee that not only wakes you up, but delivers a powerful cocktail of nutrients, each one backed by clinical research. Why this works? Whey overcomes anabolic resistance and triggers new muscle growth. Creatine recharges your energy batteries for daily strength. Vitamin D improves muscle contraction and reduces fall risk. Collagen supports joints and connective tissues. HMB preserves muscle during illness or recovery. Together, they create a comprehensive defense against sarcopenia and the functional decline that often comes with age. And here's the best part. This isn't a fad and it isn't complicated. It's coffee, a ritual you already enjoy. By stacking these nutrients onto something you already do, you dramatically increase the chances that you'll keep the habit long enough to see results. Now that you know the recipe, you're probably wondering, how long will it take before I notice a difference? That's exactly what we'll cover next. The timeline of results you can realistically expect. One of the most common questions I hear is, how long before I feel a difference? That's a smart question because knowing the timeline helps you stay motivated. Muscle change is an instant, but with the right nutrients and consistent habits, it is absolutely possible. Let's map it out. Weeks 0 to 2, subtle but encouraging changes. In the first couple of weeks, the biggest shifts are in energy and mood. Many older adults report feeling more alert in the morning, less likely to crash mid-afternoon, and more satisfied after breakfast. That's because whey protein balances blood sugar, creatine begins building up in your muscles, and vitamin D starts supporting your metabolism. You may also notice fewer cravings and a steadier sense of focus. Weeks 4 to 6. Everyday activities get easier. This is when functional improvements start to show. Carrying laundry, climbing stairs, or rising from a chair feels less of a struggle. Small aches and stiffness may begin to ease, especially if you've added collagen. Friends or family may notice you move with more confidence. These little wins are important. Celebrate them. They're proof that your efforts are paying off. Weeks 8 to 12, visible strength gains. By now, research shows that older adults who combine whey, creatine, and resistance exercise can gain 2 to 5 pounds of lean muscle and boost strength by 10 to 30%. That can mean lifting grocery bags with ease, standing tall, or walking longer without fatigue. It's not about looking like a bodybuilder. It's about reclaiming independence. Beyond 12 weeks, sustainable progress. The real magic happens with consistency. Just like putting money into a retirement account, Steady deposits add up. Keep the habit going, and your muscle bank will continue to grow, giving you strength reserves for years to come. So the answer is clear. Results don't happen overnight, but they do happen. If you stay the course, your morning coffee can become one of the most reliable allies in your fight against muscle loss. Before you rush to stock your pantry, let's pause for an important reality check. Supplements can be powerful allies, but they're not risk-free, especially after 60, when many of us take daily medications or manage chronic conditions. It's essential to add them wisely. Medication interactions, protein and creatine are generally safe, but certain medications don't play well with supplements. Blood thinners such as warfarin, diabetes drugs like metformin or insulin, and thyroid hormones like levothyroxine can all interact in unexpected ways. The safest step: write down the list of supplements you plan to take and bring it to your doctor or pharmacist before starting. Kidney concerns. Your kidneys act like filters, clearing out waste from protein metabolism and creatine use. If you've ever had kidney disease, kidney stones, or elevated creatinine levels, talk to your nephrologist before adding whey or creatine. For most healthy older adults, these supplements are safe in recommended amounts, but only your doctor can give you the green light. Surgery precautions. If you have an operation planned, stop all supplements at least 2 to 3 weeks beforehand. Some can affect blood clotting or interact with anesthesia. Always let your surgical team know what you've been taking. Digestive comfort. Whey protein can cause bloating or gas in people sensitive to dairy. If that's you, consider plant-based proteins like pea or hemp. Start with smaller doses and gradually increase as your body adjusts. Hidden calories and unhealthy add-ons. A viewer wisely pointed out in the comments, avoid condensed milk, fried foods, and sugary creamers. These extras add sugar, saturated fat, and empty calories that can harm heart health, joints, and digestion. Instead, keep it clean with whey, collagen, creatine, vitamin D, and a splash of milk or MCT oil. Bottom line, supplements can help you, but only if used responsibly. Talk with your healthcare team first, start gradually, and listen to your body. Safety isn't the boring part. It's the foundation that makes all the benefits possible. We've covered a lot of science and practical steps, but let's make this simple. You don't need to remember every study or every detail to get started. What you need is a clear, doable plan you can act on tomorrow morning. Here it is. Step 1. Talk to your doctor. Bring a short list of the supplements we discussed: whey protein, creatine, vitamin D, and optional collagen or HMB. Ask about interactions with your current medications or health conditions. This is your safety check and your starting point. Step 2. Begin with whey protein. For the first 2 weeks, focus only on adding 1 scoop of whey protein to your coffee each morning. This gives your body time to adjust and builds the habit. Notice how you feel: more energy, fewer cravings, a steadier mood. Step 3. Add creatine. After 2 weeks, stir in 1 teaspoon of creatine with your whey. This is flavorless and dissolves easily, so you won't even notice it, except in your strength and stamina. Step 4. Add vitamin D. A few drops in your coffee each morning will support muscle function and reduce fall risk. Pair it with a splash of milk or MCT oil for absorption. Step 5. Consider collagen or HMB. If you have stiff joints or are recovering from illness, these are excellent additions. But keep it simple. Introduce 1 change at a time. Step 6. Move your muscles. Supplements are powerful, but they work best when paired with movement. Aim for 2 short resistance sessions per week. That might mean wall push-ups, chair squats, or resistance bands in your living room. Consistency matters more than intensity. Step 7. Track small wins. Write down how easy it feels to climb stairs, lift grocery bags, or rise from a chair. Those everyday victories are the true markers of progress. Finally, don't stop here. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell, because in my next video, I'll share a 10-minute senior strength routine that pairs perfectly with your morning coffee.